In 1993, Americans watched breathlessly as FBI agents faced off with a self-proclaimed religious prophet and his armed followers in Central Texas. This was the Waco siege.
First one from Waco to sit on these steps, man.
Yeah, you know.
So I don't know nothing about Waco. I drove by it once, but go ahead. So tell us what really goes down in Waco.
You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, from Waco? That shit is crazy. How the fuck did that happen, bro? Because, you know, like, Waco known for them sports, but, you know, as far as rap, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got some niggas down there.
Power TV, man. It's the motherfucking woods, man. It's Trentwood, man. I'm just ain't got no live. In fact, man, how it go down, man. It's early in the morning, man. It's about 9, man. I'm showing y'all boys how it go down, man. It go down around this bitch, man. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the house right now, the hoes ain't out here fighting me and messing right now, you know what I'm saying? But this bitch right here, this the jungle, one of the jungles. This is one way in, one way out, Dad. You know what I'm saying? Can't do nothing. You niggas don't want to go to war with this, man. It's just like, yeah, in California, you know, they got the jungle, nigga. This the jungle right here, nigga. You got bears, tigers, everything in this bitch, nigga. Suppose you niggas a little far shit about this East Waco shit, man.
Been around South Waco since 1982. People caring for one
have
another.
had enough with the crime in their neighborhood. Parkside Village Apartments manager says she's making greater efforts to put a stop to illegal activity. But as News 8's McLennan County Bureau Chief Bonnie Gonzalez shows us she can't do it alone.
Jane has lived with the
Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Ann Harder.
And I'm Lindsay Littman. Waco police are searching right now for a suspected killer. Brand new details just came into the newsroom, and we now know the identity of the victim from yesterday's double shooting. Eliza Navarro joins us live from the scene of yesterday's violence in East Waco.
That's right. Now the crime tape is gone, but the tension in these streets remain after the Waco Police Department responded to shots fired yesterday afternoon. So on Monday, shortly after 4 p.m., officers rushed to reports of a shooting at a home on Houston Street. Officials said that after a family argument over a bicycle, 17-year-old Suroshin Unique Calhoun pulled out a handgun and began firing. Police say Calhoun shot and killed 31-year-old Willie Steve Kaiser. He was hit twice, once in the back and once in the arm. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead.
This evening, as Waco police are currently investigating a murder at the Kate Ross Apartments. Thanks for joining us. I'm Leah McNeil. 25 News reporter Paige Ellenberger is at the scene right now with the latest details. Paige, what do we know so far?
Hey, Leah, I'm outside of the Kate Ross apartment complex where officials say they responded to a call at about 1:30 this afternoon involving a questionable death in a 33-year-old woman. Police say the victim was found dead inside of her home by her roommate. As of now, they say she suffered one bullet wound. Karen Bynum with Waco PD believes this
32-year-old man is dead following a shooting that happened Thursday night. Officers were called to the 800 block of South 12th Street around 10:30 and found 22-year-old Robert Juarez outside of a sidewalk. During the investigation, officers learned that multiple people were seen running away from the scene. If you have any information...
This is Channel 6 News at 10.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. I'm Doug Curran.
And I'm Leslie Draffin.
We begin tonight in North Waco, where residents are speaking out when it comes to crime in their area.
Channel 6 News reporter Chris Rogers spoke to police and those who live in that area and joins us now with more. Chris.
Doug and Leslie, after speaking to people who live in North Waco, some of them told us crime was a real problem. So we set out to see just how big of an issue it really was. We broke down the numbers, and here's what we found out. After a known drug dealer ran over a Waco police officer Tuesday morning, it shined a light on a crime problem residents say has become increasingly worse in North Waco. It's an issue that could in part be sparked by the prevalence of drugs in the area.
I can tell you that some parts of town you may see them a little more openly than you do in others. North Waco is one of those areas where you may see drugs a little more openly.
44 News, I'm Noelle Mendoza. Right now, Waco police are investigating a shooting that left one dead last night. That shooting happened on Trice and North 19th Street. Fox 44's Shaquille Amari is live where the incident happened. Shaquille?
Noelle, this is one of many shootings that happened in the past week here in Waco. Now, in this incident, 4 men were involved. 3 are currently in the hospital and 1 is dead. Now, police say they believe that the buying and selling of drugs.
For the suspect accused of a shooting at the Village's apartment complex on North 6th Street. Fox 44's Shaquille Amari is live at the complex where he spoke with neighbors. Shaquille, a scary situation.
They say we're involved in a shooting outside an HEB.
Yeah, the call came into our newsroom just hours ago. It happened just after 8 o'clock tonight. The HEB parking lot at 3801 North 19th Street. Police say 1 male victim was shot in the head after meeting with the 3 male suspects.
Recovering after a shooting last night in Waco. Fox 44's Shaquille Amari, he's live in the newsroom after speaking with his girlfriend. Hey, Shaq.
Hey, Adam, a horrifying situation happening last night. Witnesses said the entire incident started with an argument involving a group of girls. Then the victim, 19-year-old Michael Brooks, he got involved. Then moments later, shots rang out, killing him.
I didn't know what to do. Like, I was losing my baby right in front of my eyes.
Arrested in connection to a murder that happened back in September.
It marks the 3rd arrest for the death of 22-year-old Israel Martinez. That's according to the Waco Police Department. A 15 and 16-year-old were arrested tonight. Waco police
they say shot a man at an apartment complex earlier this morning. It happened at the Village Apartments on 6th Street. Victims telling police the thieves showed up with a gun demanding his stuff, and that there was a fight. Then the victim was shot in the leg. That man went to
for Waco and Baylor PD. An 18-year-old was shot twice in Council Acres Park, off Bagby Avenue and South 15th Street. At 7:45 p.m., police were called after gunshots were heard near the park.
Just before dark, there had been a group of people playing basketball on the court for several hours today, and one of the vehicles behind us pulled up.
For last year, and they show a big jump in violence in Central Texas.
Yeah, but will things look any better by the time we reach the end of 2021? 6 News reporter Andrew Moore is here in studio to break down some of these numbers for us tonight. Hey, Andrew.
We know COVID-19 changed everything in 2020, but the jump in crime compared to 2019 is still fairly staggering. A DPS report released today shows murders, assaults, and vehicle thefts have increased quite a bit. Of murders first. When comparing 2019 to 2020, we can see Temple had twice as many murders with 8 last year. Waco had 14 and Killeen had 26 last year, so the number of murders nearly doubled in Killeen as well. Sergeant Neil Holtzclaw with the KPD Violent Crimes Unit says the need to quarantine may have contributed, but there are many other factors as well.
Officers say they were called just after 9 this morning by a man who told them he just shot someone in the 1600 block of Herring Avenue. Officers say 2 men got into an argument when one of them pulled out a gun. 46-year-old Timothy Danforth was shot once and died after being taken.
We have breaking news this morning. A man was shot and killed, another seriously injured in a shooting on Austin Avenue in downtown Waco. Hi, good morning. I'm Garrett Hoddle.
And I'm Bane Froni. Now, according to Waco PD, police responded to a shots fired call around 1:45 a.m. early this morning. It all happened after a fight broke out at the Warehouse, a bar in downtown Waco.
Police say the fight then spilled out into the street, at which time at least one person fired a gun several times, ultimately hitting 2 individuals. A 30-year-old man was killed during the incident. He's believed not to have been involved in that initial
January
fight.
16th at 1900, J.J. Flewellen, the man who has been identified as 30-year-old Curtis Freeman, was rushed to the hospital. He was placed on life support and died last night as a result of his injuries. Now, Waco police are actively investigating.
25 News reporter Sierra Shipley brings us the story of Ty Felder. Ty was only 17 years old when he was shot and killed Friday night. A University High athlete, he had the whole world ahead of him. Basketball coach Ricardo Felix says hearts are breaking. Waco ISD and the rest of the Waco community
arrested a man in connection to the murder of a Waco restaurant employee months after the incident. 22-year-old Lavelle Jones was arrested for reportedly murdering Nimer Ali Saled Aman Atman by the Lone Star U.S. Marshal Task Force. Now, according to officials, Jones shot and killed the 57-year-old during a robbery.
A 19-year-old killed in a shooting yesterday. Police say somebody shot Jordan Hawkins off of Colonial Avenue around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. A private vehicle took Hawkins to Providence Hospital, where later he died. An autopsy has been ordered. Police say later last night.